Attorney LaMarr. I represent Nylah and Skylar. And I am joined with a man who really needs no introduction at all. My brother, a living legend, pioneer in the civil rights industry, and the hardest working attorney in America, Atty Ben Crump. I'm also joined here with the two faces of America at this time as it stands against racism, both Skylar and Nylah. To Rock Nation, the city and the state of New York, the residents of Pennsylvania, from the bank Tamika Mallory, United Until Freedom, D'Angelo as well with Until Freedom. I want to thank my PR team, WC Communications, of Tanya Wiley, Attorney Amini Sayer, and Tori Stout, who've been working 20-hour days over the last week to manage this situation. I also had the privilege, to stand with also activists all across this country who have for justice for these two young girls. Now, just 1 week ago today, these two young 6-year-olds were headed to a theme park to greet one of their favorite characters, Rosita. You've seen in those videos, they were looking forward to that moment. They even cut Rosita off with open arms for that very special moment. And that special moment today can help transform America and help bring a cause for action and justice as we talk about corporations and companies who do business in this regard. So again, they didn't know that they would this time last week be the faces, but they are, and we are so grateful for that. We're looking forward to taking what was a traumatic experience and turning it into a moment that America can stop and show how love can outweigh and drive out hate. Now, as we stand outside of Jay-Z's Rock Nation Social Justice Summit, I believe it's most appropriate to say, men lie, women lie, video doesn't. I want to just take a second and give a special shout out to the young lady who contacted my office and provided the second video. The video that shows these two young girls after they were dismissed, what Rosita did after that. And that video is important for two reasons. Number one, it goes to show that as this family, as the Brown family has maintained this whole time, that Rosita immediately interacted with another child of a different race. Immediately. We now have video evidence of that. The second video is also important and material because it also shows that the statement that Sesame Place released initially has serious issues with it. We don't see another individual in that video holding a child in which Rosita would have been responding to. So again, we have to ask ourselves, in the consciousness of this country, what are we going to accept? It is unfortunate that we live in a day where black people have to rely on video to get justice. It's also unfortunate that even when you do have video, as Atty Crump well knows, you still might not get justice in this country.
That's correct.
Now, to be clear, the issue here is not so much the racist incident that America witnessed past Saturday, but it's how the company responded to it. It's the response. It doesn't take 3 statements over 5 days to recognize racism. Willful blindness has always been an issue when it comes to social justice. You can blame it on a costume. You can blame it on some fictitious individual holding a child. You can blame it on whatever you want, but America sees exactly what it is. Let me be clear. Videos going viral on social media is not justice. It brings awareness, but it does not bring accountability. So I charge you today. We charge the community, activists, organizations, and people across this country who truly believe in liberty and justice for us all. What are you prepared to do about it? What are you prepared to do about it? Are you going to just sit still and sit back and write comments on social media? Or are you ready, finally, to engage in these issues? I said it before and I'll say it again. We are tired of talking. I said this a few days ago. If you don't respect the dollars that keep you in business, we will respect the right to not continue to give them to you. We don't respect brands that do not respect us. We formally announced today a no tolerance policy on racism in America. This is a warning to all companies, corporations, and businesses that if you tolerate racism, we will not tolerate you. With that, I bring up Atty Ben Crump.
Thank you so much, LaMarr. And I wanted to tell you just what a privilege it is to stand with Atty LaMarr, one of the best young lawyers in America working today. We've worked on a lot of tragic campaigns involving video, and this is certainly one of them. Also present with us is Attorney O'Neill and Dr. Tiffany Crutcher, who's here at the Rock Nation Social Justice Summit, and she's with Sisters of the Movement. Her brother, tragic killing, was captured on video as well. So video is a critical part of this discussion today. It is appropriate that we're here at the Social Justice Summit, Tanya Wilder, because we are here to discuss not only issues, but solutions.
That's correct.
And that is the critical thing here for SeaWorld.
Yeah.
What is the solution? SeaWorld being the parent company of Sesame Place. And so when I look at Miss Brown and I look at these beautiful angels, the ivory, I think back to what Maya Angelou said. She said that people will often forget what you say, people will often forget what you do, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And for Ms. Brown's daughter and niece, you saw the video. You look in their eyes when Rosette just ignores them as if they are invisible, as if they're insignificant, not worthy of consideration and attention. And it's such a difficult thing for Ms. Brown and her family to have to explain to her 6-year-old daughter and 6-year-old niece about racism. It's not fair. It is not right, SeaWorld. It is not right, Sesame Place. And you can best believe Ms. Brown, Attorney LaMarr, will always remember how they made her feel on that day when they ignored her beautiful black princesses. And so that character may have ignored them, but we will never ignore our black children. They have every right to be given the full consideration and respect of any other child, whether white, brown, red, or black. And so we'll say this because Ms. Brown is going to greet you, then Attorney Angelo is going to greet you, and we're trying to take a few of your questions about Attorney LaMarr and I continue engagement with counsel for SeaWorld to see if they're going to do the right thing. Because in a crisis situation, as John Kennedy said, it can present danger or it can present opportunity. Will SeaWorld take advantage of the moment to make it a teachable moment? Not just with their words, but with their actions.
That's right.
Because that's what the black community is demanding, SeaWorld, action. For Nylah and Skylar and all the other unknown little black children of the people who are sending videos. Attorney LaMarr said he's received dozens of videos about other black children being ignored by the characters. And there seems to be, especially when you look at the latest video that has been released by Tanya Wiley and Attorney LaMarr, that first excuse does not add up.
Nope.
It just doesn't add up when we look at your words and then we look at the video. I know in a lot of these marches, my son, we say, you don't need to say no more, just show the video.
Right.
Well, we say that for Nylah and Skylar as well.
Right.
The ball is in your corner, SeaWorld. Our community is going to stand firm for our children.
That's correct.
The question is, are you standing with us, or are you going to stand against us? Let's make this a teachable moment, not just for Skylar and Nylah. Let's make this a teachable moment, Sesame Street, for American society. Now more than ever, we need it. And at this time, we have is Ms. Brown, and we will step out to the way and let you speak for your daughter and your niece.
I am the mother of Skylar and Nylah Brown, who are the two children in the video from Sesame Place. Since that day, I shouldn't have to explain what racism is. A part for kids, that was acceptable. And now I have to explain to them that that was just one bad person. And there's much more to it. But they shouldn't have to suffer from that. They shouldn't have to have trigger points when it comes to hate characters or something. It's not fair. It's not fair.
And just think about that. Her daughters, and Lisa asked me what do they do wrong. SeaWorld, that is not fair, Sesame Place. And Ms. Brown, we stand with you. We're with you complete.
My name is Attorney Angelo Pinto, and I'm with an organization called Until Freedom, a national civil rights organization that does this work around the country. And too often we find ourselves actually standing shoulder to shoulder with Attorney Ben Crump, crisscrossing the country, addressing these issues. And of course, again, we find ourselves here today. There's a few things I want to say that really pinpoint and talk about or accentuate some of what has already been said. When I first saw the video, the thing that hit me most and the thing that still hits me today is how long will we ignore black pain? How long will we ignore black trauma? That is what America does continuously, right? It ignores black pain and it ignores black trauma. But when we talk about America, we have to talk about the institutions of America. Because we're just saying America's a big country, but there are institutions, there are corporations that make up America and that share and nurture the culture and environment of America. And SeaWorld is one of those organizations. They nurture the culture of racism in America. They have an opportunity to respond and they fail to respond. Oftentimes when we're addressing these issues around the country, we're seeing adults, we're seeing teenagers who are murdered at the hands of the police. And as a result of that form of racism not being responded to, we now have to deal with the racism that our children, our most valuable resource, our youngest resource faces. It's as a result of negligence of America in many facets. Corporate negligence, political negligence, but today we stand to say that negligence can no longer continue.
Amen.
It can no longer continue. When this video first went viral, SeaWorld immediately issued a response. And their response was that what you think you see, you're not seeing. They say your eyes are lying to you. Your eyes are lying to you. We had to watch the video 100 more times. And they said your eyes are still lying to you. And that's the issue that black folks in America face. We are told that even when we see something, it's not there.
It's not there.
It's an illusion. You have some glasses on that the rest of the world doesn't have. And the danger of that is, it takes the most prominent attorney in the country to step forward to say, hold on, we have to look at this again. The most prominent attorney, not just any, the most prominent attorney in the country has to step forward and say, pay attention to this issue because no one will pay attention to it. And then you know what happened without anybody asking? Dozens of videos started to surface.
Exactly.
Not another video, not 2 videos, dozens of videos. Our inboxes were inundated by videos of folks saying, this happened to me. I got calls from people saying, this happened to me too. I stopped going to SeaWorld because this happened to me too. And we know that families told SeaWorld when they were there, hey, something happened. Let me show you this video. And we know SeaWorld was unresponsive then.
My Lord.
So we know we have a history. We often say a pattern and practice of unresponsiveness from SeaWorld. What SeaWorld did after dozens of videos surfaced, they said, hold on, wait, maybe what you're seeing is right. Maybe there's some truth to what you saw. And they issued another statement. And they said, you know what? We're going to take a look into this. We take these matters serious. But I want to say to SeaWorld, issuing a statement is not taking these matters seriously. The executives of SeaWorld must come forward. They must release the names of the individuals who are behind the costumes. Let us know how they're going to hold them accountable. And let us know their plan for moving forward so that this doesn't happen again. Not only must SeaWorld address this family, there are dozens of families, potentially hundreds of individuals who've experienced racism at the hands of SeaWorld, at Sesame Place. And SeaWorld doesn't just own Sesame Place. There are at least 12 other entertainment parks they own. So we wonder, how long has this continued? How many people have been impacted? The last thing I want to say is, today when I saw these 2 little girls, it made me think about Ruby Bridges. So it made me think about Ruby Bridges, a black girl that had to integrate schools in the South, in America. And I remember every time I saw the Ruby Bridges story, I used to think about, what kind of impact does this have on her? What kind of impact does this have on our children? What do our children have to take through the rest of their life, this kind of trauma, this kind of baggage, because America refuses to do the right thing, not for adults, but for children. And what we're saying as a community today is it's unacceptable, and we won't have it. And we will do whatever we have to do from today and this day forward to hold America and SeaWorld accountable until freedom. We stand with Attorney Crump, Attorney LaMarr, and the family. We're with y'all for the long haul. Thank y'all.
Now we'll take a couple questions if there are.
Yeah, first and foremost, you talk about your conversations with SeaWorld. My understanding that there are no black leadership among their senior ranks. And so, when do you want to have that meeting? Have they agreed to a meeting? And who will that meeting be with?
Attorney LaMarr and I have been in talks. Attorney LaMarr and I have been in talks with SeaWorld executives, and we are saying this is an opportunity for them to not only do right by Skylar and Nylah, but Roland Martin, it's also an opportunity for them to become a better company. And so hopefully they will look at this moment, this painful moment, and try to turn it into something powerful, not only for the black community, but for their company. And they need to look and see if there's diversity, equity at the highest levels of the company, so they can be respectful of all the children that visit their parks. It was profound what Attorney Angelo just said about Ruby Bridges, because we have hundreds of Ruby Bridges coming through SeaWorld.
You have other cases where they brought in, like Airbnb, Uber, other companies, where they brought in someone to do a civil rights audit of the company top to bottom. Is that one of the things that you want to happen with SeaWorld?
I'll say this and then I'll let Attorney LaMarr respond. I know him, Tanya, and I are working with Until Freedom, and they are a young, powerful civil rights organization that we want to have at the table to talk about how we prevent this from ever happening again, how we prevent Robin or any other black parent out there having to tell a 6-year-old that, baby, you did nothing wrong. That person was sick. And racism is a sickness. That's what we're trying to prevent. Thank you, Roland. Any, you have anything on that?
Well, going to a park like this, it's expensive. It's an event that you probably prepared for and that everybody was just anticipation about it. And then there's this appointment. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, no one wants to go to a park and spend hundreds of dollars to make sure their kids have fun and then for them to be disappointed. So, along with me being, upset, my main focus was the embarrassment and racism that took place. So, at the time that it happened, my first thought wasn't, hey, I came here and I spent how much ever dollars in this place. It was, let me speak to someone because we need to address the fact that my kids were disappointed.
Just quickly, Until Freedom has issued an advisory against SeaWorld, and we will be, against Sesame Place, and we will be issuing an advisory against SeaWorld. That speaks specifically to some of our demands and what we'd like to see from them, so be on the lookout for that as well.
Last question. If not, Attorney LaMarr and Tanya Wilder will be giving updates. We are engaged with counsel. They have diverse counsel who is trying to hopefully tell them about how important this matter is. Because sometimes they don't think things that affect our children are important.
That's right.
And so they need to have good counsel tell them, even though you would think that this is elementary, that we love our children just like you love your children.
That's right.
And when your children have to face something that is unacceptable and inexcusable, then we should think that our children will want the same response that you would do for your own children. And so, SeaWorld, I want to believe your executives will respect what happened to these children by what your employer did. There's this concept in the law, you can't get the benefit without having the liability. Well, you get the benefit of Ms. Brown and others paying hundreds of dollars. And like Attorney LaMarr said, if you don't respect our black children, do not expect our black dollars.
That's right.
Attorney LaMarr, do have, you said you've got other videos. How many other parents have reached out to you since this story became public?
I would say at this point we received about 150 families reach out that have been patrons of Sesame Place, whether in recent weeks, recent months, or even years. We've also received copies of emails of this same complaint being made to Sesame Place about their character's conduct. So again, they have been put on notice well before last Saturday.
That's correct.
So again, that is one of the reasons why we are taking it seriously, and it doesn't go away with an apology or 3 apologies that's issued in 5 days. So again, we want action at this point.
And we will say in conclusion, this is an opportunity for SeaWorld and Sesame Place to finish how this story ends. It is in their corner to decide, will this be a win for this family and the community, and a win for their corporation. We should try to hold hands together and navigate this landmine, or we will have to take a stand. And there's no question where we stand, and Biavri, LaMarr, and I have communicated this to them. We stand for our children.
Right.
Unapologetically.
Unapologetic.
Thank you all.
One second. Hey, Ben.
Hey, Queen, how are you? Y'all ready to go ahead and start? Y'all want to lead us? Game together. How you doing? Okay. Pick up one.
Let's get right on. Yep, just get right on. Just so on that particular day, just as a mother, when you saw it happening, when you saw it unfolding, what was going through your mind when you saw these two girls trying to get his attention?
I was upset. I was pissed. I couldn't believe it. And then when I seen him embrace another child of another race right after, I automatically was like, this cannot happen. And from there, I went to find a solution. I wanted to speak to management, and I was told there was no management there, and that made me even more upset.
Was this the first time you had gone to the park with him?
That was my first time at the park with him, yes.
And had you heard about it before? What made you want to take him there? Was it because of something you heard about the park, the experience?
Well, all kids love, Sesame Street characters, but I was actually there to celebrate someone's birthday, and that's why we were all there. But the kids should have never experienced that.
And what was the conversation like when you get to explain to them what just happened? It's a conversation black parents don't want to have.
With the children?
Yeah.
You just explain to them that, you didn't do anything wrong, because, they want to know what did they do. You did nothing wrong. You can continue to be the beautiful, innocent children that you are. There are bad people in this world, but we will not be like those people. And I'm going to get answers for my children.
How do you feel with so many folks, celebrities, just regular ordinary people who've been retweeting, who've been commenting, who've been standing with you as a result of what happened?
I'm very grateful for it. I appreciate it. The kids definitely deserve to see the love and support after everything that has happened, so I'm grateful for it. And because of that conversation, now other parents who felt the same way I felt that day are able to tell their story.
All right, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Roland Martin.
Thank you. All right, so for everybody who's actually been watching, Rock Nation is holding their first social justice convention. That's actually why we're here. We're here to cover this. And then I got a text message from Ben Crump this morning say that they were actually holding this news conference out here. And so thank goodness I had my gear with me. And so folks, this is why what we do with the Black Star Network. You never know when news is going to pop up, it's going to happen. And so that's why we're here. And so we're going to keep certainly covering this story. And so we appreciate all of you who are watching us. And again, thanks a bunch. And again, this is why I implore all of you who watch, I implore you to support us in what we do. Because, again, you got some local media here. I don't think any of the national media was here. I don't think any other black-owned media was here covering this. And so we're going to be able to have this, of course, on the show. So that's why I'm always asking y'all to support us in what we do. Cash, checks, and money orders to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. You can support us on the Cash App, $ RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered, and Zelle is roland@rolandsmartin.com. So I'm now headed back inside to cover the Social Justice Conference. Then my man Keenan White, he'll restream this news conference later for folks who actually missed it. So thanks a bunch, and until then, holla.
So I'm trying to get the media attention about it because it's in New Jersey, but they keep covering it up.
It's in New Jersey?
Yes, it's in New Jersey. But if you Google my name, you'll see all the lawsuits.
Take our number.
I've been calling the media for long.
Yep.
They even block my phone, so I can't.
Yeah.